Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now September 9th of 2025, and given that the Meghan Markle fiasco is still at large, we know that there's a lot of division going on between Greg Peters, Ted Sarandos, the two CEOs of Netflix, including the many executives and producers over there, getting tangled up with the board of directors, which, by the way, the majority of them are indeed on Ted's side. It's exactly why Meghan Markle is getting a handful of one-off projects, one after the other, such as the holiday/Christmas special coming out sometime this year. That's just one of those. But what's interesting here has a lot more to do with Meghan Markle and exactly how she's coping with the fact that With Love Meghan Season 2 was indeed a major ratings disaster and pretty much a major loss for Netflix based on how much they invested into the show, based on how it was indeed a part of her original $100 million contract deal. That really just goes to show you how they failed, not just their customers, but also how they failed, how they actually present themselves to the public and how people perceive them, essentially. Now, what's interesting here has a lot more to do with Meghan Markle once again going on another temper tantrum and how she is doing damage control. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. Now, we already know that Meghan Markle is on her way to trying to land that deal over at NBC, as we talked about that about a week ago. She's trying to land a game show host position, and there's been a lot of drama going on between herself and NBC as well. She's also trying to go on SNL as herself. She's trying to get something done over there. We'll talk more about that down the road. What's interesting here, though, something that really does raise an eyebrow, is exactly how she's playing the victim, playing the blame game again, but taking it up a notch. Now, with the Meghan Markle fiasco at Netflix only creating wider issues between herself and others like Greg Peters, one major development going on now involves more to do with Meghan Markle snapping back at the critics yet again. Now, this comes in the middle of the ratings for Season 2, taking a nosedive as the weeks roll by. Meghan recently delivered the following. Well, taking a closer look at Season 2, I would definitely say that when you are an actress and when you are on that one that works hard, it is so disheartening to see so many people fall into the categories of sexism and misogyny, and how the attacks on me that I have dealt with firsthand. I firmly believe this is a severe form of racism. People well knowing that I'm a woman of color who happens to have a passion for cooking. I wouldn't doubt the opinion of my show would differ if someone else were involved that came from a more privileged place during their childhood. And I have learned many lessons while making Season 2 and releasing it to the world. And let me tell you, racism is a very big obstacle that we are trying to get through in this business. It's something that we need to tackle, because when you put out both seasons of my series, we dealt with many examples of racism toward me and especially toward Mindy with the first one. It was heartbreaking as a woman to see something like this taking shape, and I would definitely say that I would love to come back for a Season 3. I have thought about this, and I will have more to say about that in the very near future. Diversity is something that should be cherished, not abandoned, as this administration is doing, especially against the arts. This is why cinema is struggling right now, and it doesn't matter if it's film or television. Actors and actresses like myself are having a very hard time accepting the reality. I am asking everyone to convince your friends and family to check out both seasons of my series, because it will change lives and it will bring everyone together. The attacks on Hollywood and its performers need to stop, and it's something I won't put up with any longer. It's time that we focus on improving society, and to focus on the #1 issue in the world right now, that is racism. Now guys, let me just say one thing about this. Now, first off, for numerous months she always blamed sexism and misogyny. Now she's playing the race card, right? She's playing the whole racism trope and going on that. Now, we already know that people have played that card multiple times, and it just is not convincing to a lot of people out there around the world. And we already know that the main reason why this show is tanking at the ratings, why there are so many negative reviews, is because it's just a terrible show. I mean, that's just the best way to explain it. We already know that nobody wants to hear or see Meghan Markle. That's just for starters. But on top of that, you got really bad storytelling, terrible writing, directing, producing, acting, line delivery, everything across the board is horrible. I mean, it is literally a textbook example of what you should not do in a television program from a major studio like Netflix, alright? And we can go over all of the things that they should have done all day, but focusing on this in isolation, it goes to show you that she has nothing else to say other than to blame this, or that, right? Sexism, misogyny, and now racism. And we already know that she's trying to drag her ethnicity into the situation here, but let's move on. She goes on to conclude, because I don't see how Hollywood can go on like this, with so many American citizens rooting for privileged people strictly to get the roles that they want in film. To create a fair and balanced business, we have to look at diversity, equity, and inclusion, and just how magical it really is, because it gives everyone a chance to play any kind of a role, whether it's a newcomer or someone with actual talent. Everything shouldn't not be based strictly on merit and creativity or skills, but where they come from can be a very valuable aspect as well in this industry. It's something that many producers and executives need to think strongly about before making a bad decision. I am just hoping everyone gains some common sense to realize that racism was to blame for why our series gained so much criticism. Now, again, the fact that she has the gall to say, in Hollywood, whether you're chasing to become an actor, an actress, a writer, director, it shouldn't have anything to do with just merit or creativity or having a skill. It should just be based on your ethnicity or where you come from or anything like that, your appearance. That's just ridiculous, and the fact that she says something like that just goes to show you that she's just looking for little cards to play as to why this show failed. That's basically what it all is, and we've heard the same exact argument from many out there like Robert De Niro saying something similar to this, as well as Alec Baldwin and Julia Roberts. I mean, don't get me started on her as well. But we already know that there's a lot of things going on with these actors in Hollywood, is that they really just can't actually register the fact that people are checking out. People are ditching the theaters, they're even going as far to ditch streaming now, and they're focusing on more independent forms of media or entertainment out there that may not be television or film, maybe more geared towards social media aspects. That's basically what's going on right now. So you see this shift, and until Hollywood realizes that they have to do something different, that they have to actually do something original or up their game, multiple levels, then and only then I think people will return to the theaters and more people will come in droves to sign up for streaming again. But overall, I mean, this is just another example of how Meghan Markle is indeed playing a card here as to why this show failed at everything. And I mentioned everything before: the acting, the producing, the directing, the writing. It's just a very bad season, and it's not even a new season, it's a part 2 of an already existing show, basically. Alright, so part 2 of season 1. They just call it season 2 to make it sound like it's more successful than it really is. But I would like to hear what everyone has to say about this whole Meghan Markle situation and how she's continuing to do damage control for a show that practically, honestly, nobody even watched. It's got far less reviews than the first season, and there's a reason behind that. A lot of critics didn't even want to get involved in reviewing this thing. But overall, I would love to hear what everyone has to say about this below in the comments, anything from ranging to Meghan Markle to Ted Sarandos. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.